Hello everybody, welcome back to my social friend. My name's Anya and this is my brother Gabriel.
And I'm Crystal and welcome back. Today is day 14 of Vlogmas. Is that right, Sienna? Day 14 of Vlogmas? And we will start with our regular advent calendar opening. So which one are we going for first?
Kylie and the Machine. Kylie and the Machine.
Kylie and the Machine. So countdown calendar. Open it up, my love.
Wait, are we on 14?
The other one? No, so this is going downwards. So we are on, Sienna, we need help.
22.
No, 12,
You
right?
haven't done 22.
No, it's wrong. 12. So we're on number 12.
It's a purple lady that's sewing.
There's a purple lady that's sewing. Number 12 over here. Right, open it up, guys.
Okay, you want to open it? Or should I open this one because I've got nails? Big nails. What did we get today?
We got those.
No, just open
No,
it.
we always got that one.
Ooh, these are nice ones.
To see.
Show them.
What does it say? I to see.
That's heart. So heart stands for love. I love to sew. They're very nice, actually. I've not seen those actually. So it's very simple. I love to sew. Two fairly rectangular labels from Kylie and the Machines. Kylie and the Machine. Excellent. Thank you so much. Next, Fabric Godmother. We are on day 14. We'll show them first.
Her head.
It's the lady with that pinky ready dress on. Let's read the tip.
Oh, my finger. The tip.
No,
I
it's not
can't read.
Look, it's round.
Alternate big projects like jeans with easier palette cleansing projects. It's a good idea. So likewise with my sewing, I like to have Tabitha drawstring dresses or something simple as a palette cleanser when I'm procrastinating about going to a next project, just because it's easy and I've done it before and it just gives you your sojo back when you've lost it or if you've lost it. Right, let's open it up.
I think.
Let's guess what it is. Oh, it's quite thick.
Oh, it's quite
I know what
hard.
it is already.
I don't know.
I know what it is.
Feels
What do you
like
think it is?
a round wind thingy.
I might be wrong there.
Feels like a heat. You know the thing on your head when you snapped it, heated up.
Or like a little heat pad thing. Yeah, let me have a look.
The drum is like.
It's quite hard. I think it might be a tape measure, a round tape measure.
Is
Me and
it?
Gabriel.
Let me feel. That can't be tape. Oh, yeah, it is one of those
Around-
little round ones.
Yes,
There
yes.
should be a spot on it there. I'll take it out now.
Excuse me. I think I've just burped.
Oh,
very
that's so
fancy one. That's lovely.
Can I
So it says seams on there. I mean, how fancy is that? Is it leather? I don't know. So I'm smelling it to see if it's leather or
You
not.
feel it. You can feel it.
I mean, it could be faux leather or vegan leather, which is the same as faux leather. And it is a beautiful measuring tape. And that bobble thing you're talking about, Sir Gabriel, it's in the middle here. To press it. That is really, really lovely. That would make a gorgeous gift, actually. But I'm really happy to have that because I quite like the idea of having one of these in my handbag when I go out. Because, you know, generally if you like looking at fabric or if you just want to measure things, you have a nice tape measure in your bag. Oh, very happy with that. Thank you. Leave it here because we're going to write it.
Door. Was it?
Beyond the Pink Door.
Beyond the pink door.
Box number, is it 14? Are you sure?
Yes,
14.
Box number 14. There you go. Let me guess first. So it's I know what this is. You won't know what it is. And I already have one of these, unfortunately.
Right.
What do you think it is, Gabriel?
It looks like a fish. Shaped like a fish.
It's shaped like a fish. Come on, Annie, can you guess?
Probably like paint stuff or something.
Paint stuff.
Makeup.
It has to be sewing related, my love.
It's bendy. It feels like a pack of something.
So I think it is a
Scissors.
self-covered button kit. So you have like a rubber bit, then you have little holes, and you have little pressy bits to put the button in, and then you have a little like stamp things to go on it to enclose the fabric around the button. That's what I think it is from Hemline. I think
Should
I
we
got mine
open
from.
it
Yep, open it. And it's blue and pink from my recollection.
Oh,
I could be totally
it
wrong.
is. Yeah, it
Is
is.
it? I was right. So it's
What
from
is that?
Hemline. Different colour than I suggested, but it is a self-cover Hemline button maker. So let me just show you.
Makeup.
You would cut out your
Button.
fabric, so you'd have your metal buttons, or you can get plastic ones, and you'd cut out your fabric slightly bigger than the circle of your button. You put your fabric in the hole, your button on top, and then you use this presser to go on top, and that will enclose the fabric around the button like that. Ooh, lovely. Okay, so let's rate. Do you want to rate what you think? Yep, go on. Is that your first place? Gabriel?
This is my first
Second place. Third place.
You, Annie?
First place. Second place. Third place.
Mine is first place. I'm loving this. I would have said this as second place, but I already have one. So it's not that it's not a good gift. It's just that I already have one. So my second place is Kylie the Machines. And my third place is Beyond the Pink Door. And that's it. Thank you, my lovely helpers. Can this go away? Zach, Zander? No, can I have that, please?
It's not Zander.
Zachary. Same thing. No, you're not Zachary either, are you? Gabriel. Right, labels away. Look how full our label tin is getting. Loads of labels in there.
Oh, look, I think it's...
That's like a pin.
Yeah,
reminder
pin
thing.
thing.
Oh, how come? Did you put my buttons in here? Oh, yeah, they're lovely. Do you remember, guys, that's Beyond the Pink Door buttons? So beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
Right, put those away, please. Thank you. Sienna, can that go in my little drawer? In my little drawer, please? And then can I have that on the table? Right.
Let's go.
Are you off?
Let's go.
Wait.
Just leave it on my desk for now. Thank you.
Wait, Mummy, I love you.
I love you. Night-night. And yes, part 2 of the vlog. Sorry, I'm just wearing my husband's shacket at the moment because it's lovely. It's not homemade, it's ready to wear from Next, but it's just lovely and warm. So our boiler has been, well, it wasn't actually broken in the end. It was just the pipes might have been a bit frozen, but in the time that we were waiting for our boiler guy, the pipes must have thawed out, so it does work. But we still got the boiler guy in, and we just want to have the boiler serviced. He's not serviced an industrial boiler before, but he said he'd give it a go. And to be honest, where we are in the countryside, there's not that many tradespeople that are free, as in available, or that are willing to work. I found that since we moved, unlike in London where people were wanting the jobs, you know, they were almost, I guess, fighting for the jobs. In the country, nobody really cares, I don't think. Either they're already fully booked or they just want an easy life. I don't know. Maybe they've made enough money for the year or for the month. So what we found is when we've had people over to quote for things, they just don't get back to us with a quote. You know, I have to chase them up for the quote, or you know, I'm the one chasing up all these contractors, sort of saying, you know, have you got a quote? Do you want to do the work? When are you available? Type of thing. So I found it quite difficult to find. It's been quite difficult finding, you know, contractors, plumbing, tilers, kitchen people, bathroom people, that sort of thing. And so in terms of the work on the house, it has been quite slow. But I suppose with the house, it is going to be a forever sort of work in progress house, which is fine. Sorry, quickly, I forgot that sewing part comes next. So I did make a start on the Bakerloo dress after yesterday. You know, sometimes when you're just like, you know what you have to do, everything is ready, but you just need to get there. You just need to push to get there. So I was sort of thinking, shall I just like lie down with the baby and watch like something on my phone, like I don't know, like a vlog, or sometimes I go into my daughter's room because she has a computer in there and she does some work, and she has 2 computer screens, so she does her work on one screen, and on the other screen she'll kindly put something on, like Criminal Minds, which is it's on Disney Plus. It's like a, you know, like CSI, that sort of thing, and I quite enjoy these sort of programs. Criminal Minds, I really enjoy it. So anyway, I was thinking, should I just do that? And then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna like slap my face, get behind the machine, and I got going. And as soon as I started, it was fine. Again, with the Bakerloo dress, I treated it like the Lyra. So I did I think I do most of my patterns that I've done before, I do it in my own way. So I do the easiest parts first. I also try and batch my overlocking parts all together. So rather than following the booklet saying, you know, stitch together, then overlock, now stitch this, then overlock, I try and stitch as much as I can without overlocking. And then when I get to a point that I really need to overlock first, I then go to my overlocking machine and do all the overlocking. And the reason for that is because my machine and my overlocker there's like 1.5 meters between them, so I actually have to get up. I know this sounds really ludicrous, like I'm so lazy, like I actually have to get up, walk a couple of steps to my overlocker, and it's just, yeah, it's just a bit of a hassle to do that. But I know some people have their machines right next to each other. For me, I prefer having space on either side, so you know, for fabric or for your pattern pieces or for, you know, everything else, I like having the space in between my machines to just work. And so that's why I have my overlocker a bit further away from me. So anyway, with the Bakerloo dress, I did the same as my Lyra. So the what's it called, the skirt pieces, I'll show you. Well, it doesn't really look. Skirt pieces and the button, the pockets. So this is inside out still. So first of all, I overlock all the sides of the skirt pieces, put them to one side, and then I overlock all the pocket pieces. I've showed you that one that's really badly done. I've overlocked all the pocket pieces, put that to one side, and then I stitch the pockets on at the correct place, understitch them, do that 4 times, and then I join them together. And I find that's quite an easy way to do to construct the skirt. Also, yeah, it's easy, and also it just goes by really quickly. So I've done that piece now. All I need to do for the skirt, I've also overlocked the bottom. I just need to hem that skirt, so that's quite good. And then the bodice, the thing that I hate about most patterns, I hate tracing, so I don't trace anymore. I normally buy PDF patterns. So I used to buy paper patterns just because they're so nice to have, like, you know, the envelopes and just the coloured booklets, and it's just all lovely and nice. But then you have to trace the patterns, which I used to do. I did that for a long time actually. And now I've realized that the time it takes to trace a pattern is time wasted, and it's time not well spent. So now I do, still it sometimes irks me, because when a new pattern comes out I think, oh, I'd love to have that in my pattern stash, but I do just go for the PDF patterns now, and I have them printed out in A0 via Jenny Stitches fabrics. And I just find cutting out A0 printed paper is just far easier and quicker. And yeah, so my least favorite sewing task would be, it was tracing out. I don't do that anymore. Now I think it's actually cutting out fabric, because I think I would rather just get to the sewing part. So I would love to have some sort of assistant that, you know, cuts out my pattern, cuts out my fabric, and gets it. And and interfacing. So, you know, you've cut out all your fabric and you think, great, I'm done. And then you think, oh, now I have to go and drag out the interfacing and cut that out. So now I don't like tracing. I don't like cutting out fabric. I don't like cutting out interfacing and ironing interfacing. I think that's just an extra little job. Obviously it's necessary, but it's an extra little job that's sort of outside the flow of sewing, in my opinion. And then the next thing that I used to hate hemming. I quite like hemming now. And what I found is with hemming with skirts, I normally hem the skirt when it's still like a whole skirt, if that makes sense, when it's not gathered yet, because I find it's easier to hem on a flat piece of fabric. In terms of measuring your hem and going around, I just find it's much easier. So I will hem this before I attach the skirt to the bodice. I find that easier. And then the next thing that I don't like doing is darts. I hate darts, because I think, again, it's a break in the flow of sewing, because you have to, you know, put your paper on your pattern piece, you have to mark the bust point, then you have to mark where the darts are going to go, then you have to mark it, then you have to fold. I mean, you guys will all know, you have to fold the fabric so that the lines of the darts are the same, and that's quite time consuming. Like, you can't rush that, especially on plain fabric where you can see exactly where the darts are on your body. And then the last thing that I hate is adding Tilly in the Buttons always says to add stabilizer at the shoulder seams. So I normally just use some leftover ribbon. I did buy some stabilizer at the beginning, but it's just leftover ribbon, or I will use the selvage of woven fabrics. They're really good. So you know, all woven fabrics have selvages, most of them do. So I just cut a little bit out and I use that as the stabilizer for all my knit makes. So they're the things I don't like. So with the Bakerloo dress, there were bust darts, which is a bit annoying. So I had to concentrate with that, and I'll show you the bodice now. That's the front bodice, bust darts there, and then I've attached the sleeves as well. The sleeves have been overlocked. I just need to create a casing for the elastic. The shoulders are lovely and gathered at the shoulder head there, sleeve head there. And then the back has also been overlocked. You can't really see it because of the fabric. So the back has also been overlocked, and then that will then get joined together. But there is a gap that you leave here, and then you add a little rouleau loop, so that's how you get in and out of the dress. So I'm hoping to finish that tonight. And then in the meantime, I'm hoping to cut out my daughter's Tabitha drawstring dress. Thank you for those that commented. I will be going with a burgundy ribbing for that dress. I think I just need to get some burgundy drawstring or ribbon for that. So I'm hoping to get that done. And with regards to homeschooling, we are kind of winding down a little bit. So the older 3 are actually still full steam ahead. But the younger, so Gabriel downwards, we are kind of winding down a bit, in the sense that there's no urgency to get what's scheduled done. But we do try to do our maths, reading and writing. And then we have quite a lot of read aloud history as well, where I read a history chapter, and then the children will discuss it. So that's quite a nice kind of cozy sit in front of the fire activity to do with the children. And the other children also, that's Sienna telling the children to go to bed, and then the younger children sometimes sit in and listen, so that's quite nice. And that can just be done on the sofa, like you don't need on the sofa, so it's quite a relaxed activity, but still educational. And then what else was I going to say? No, that's it really. Yes, so I was just gonna do a just talk quickly about Christmas presents for my children. So obviously 8 children, that's a lot of children to buy for. I'm actually quite thankful that the children aren't they're not spoiled, but they're not they're not spoiled, but they're also not deprived, in my opinion, obviously. So I think the children aren't so brand aware, they're not so which I don't know. Again, I'm going to go back to the homeschooling school thing, because when I was in school, I know after Christmas, when you come back from Christmas holidays, everybody's talking about what presents they got. And, you know, it's normally, I got these night trainers, or back in the day, it was the Nintendo 64, or I got the shell suit. I don't know if you remember in the 80s, the shell suit, jogging bottoms and tracksuit jacket. Or, you know, I got, so, you know, and everybody, or I got this Barbie set, I got this Barbie house, and, you know, and everybody was kind of, I mean, it was very exciting to hear what everybody got for their presents. But I think for people that couldn't afford so much, it was kind of a bit embarrassing, and a bit like, I'll tell you a story. My husband, as I've said, he's one of 10 children. And obviously, when you're one of 10 children, you don't get 3, 4, 5 presents each. You get one nice present each, if that, obviously, depending on what your parents can afford. So my husband, when he was little, they normally used to get collective presents. So one day they got like a foosball table, which is, you know, still quite expensive, but it was for all of them to play with. Or not one day, 1 year. And then they'd have lots of little presents as well. But generally speaking, when he went to go back to school, everybody would be like, oh, I got the, you know, whatever, what's the latest, the Xbox. So one child would have had the Xbox and a new phone, or, you know, trainers and a new watch, and, you know, whatever. And then my husband used to say that what all of his brothers got, he used to say he got for himself, because he felt quite self-conscious that everybody else had more than one present each, and he only got like one present. And so he just used to pretend that what his brothers got were his presents as well, which I was like, oh, that's kind of sad, isn't it? But yeah, going back to that, so my children aren't another story actually. So my nephew, this was a long time ago, he's now 18, but when he was about 5 or 6, I remember my sister-in-law telling me, oh, Joshua wanted I shouldn't have said his name, should I? You guys don't know him anyway, but he wanted a Manchester United t-shirt. And he just kept going on and on about this Manchester United t-shirt. And then eventually his mum was like, well, you know, why do you want the Manchester United t-shirt? Do you even know who they are? And the poor boy didn't even know who Manchester United was. But because all of his friends, well, not all of his friends, most of his friends were avid football fans, and their favourite team was Manchester United, and they all wanted Manchester United t-shirts. You know, my poor nephew wanted a Manchester United t-shirt as well, despite not knowing who the team was or not much about football. And I just think that kind of mentality is crap. crowd mentality, isn't it? It happens. It's peer pressure. And I think I went through the same thing at school, although luckily myself and my brother, there was only 2 of us. My parents were both working, so we were actually quite spoilt growing up. So and then it was also 1 boy and 1 girl, so there was no hand-me-downs as such, because obviously I was a girl, so I got all new clothes, he got all new clothes. Again, toys wise, there wasn't much overlap in toys, apart from maybe Lego or something, or like consoles. We would use that together, but generally I would get all the Barbies and the Cindy's, you know, and all the Dolly toys. What else was it back there? Care Bears, and I don't think they had Sylvanians back then, I'm not sure. And then my brother would get like all the boys' toys, so we were quite lucky growing up in the sense that we pretty much didn't want for anything. I don't know why I'm telling you this now, but yeah, so my children, for example, as they they don't really want for any brands. So if they want a pair of trainers, it's, you know, we go to Sports Direct and they choose a pair that they like, rather than, you know, they're buying it because of the brand. So they choose the pair that they like the look of, and obviously if it fits well and it's within a budget, we give them a budget obviously, then they will buy those. Similarly, I guess the brands, they do know Lego, Playmobil, they know that sort of thing, but they would never really ask for like an Xbox or an iPhone or anything like that, because I think they just know, they inherently know that it's not something that we would be able to give them, or that we would want to give them individually anyway. I mean, iPhones nowadays, I think the latest iPhone is like 800, if not more, to buy. And I know, like, I'm part of these Facebook groups, large family Facebook group, or lots of, you know, or home edge, you know, Facebook groups. And when Christmas is coming around and people are like, oh, what kind of budget do you set for your children, because, you know, you've got a large family? And I'm actually shocked. People are giving their children £200 worth of presents each. And then I don't think they're single children. I think they're at least 2 or 3. But that's a lot of money to be spending on a child. And I mean, I guess if you've got the money, then why not? It's your own hard-earned cash. Why not spend it? But us in particular, we don't overspend on the children. So the children this year, they will get an individual gift each, probably around £30 each. The older ones get a little bit more. So my daughter, for example, she's requested some Converse trainers, and I know they're branded, but the reason she's asked for them is because she already got some Converse trainers for last year. She got the white ones that are you know, low cut. And then for the winter, and she finds them really, really comfortable, but because they're white, they're not very suitable obviously for the winter. So she's asked for some black leather ones. Well, she's asked for black ones, and the ones that are like I think they're called high tops, where they're kind of like ankle ones. And we managed to find a good one. I think they're about £80 or £90, but there was a sale on Converse itself, converse.com, and I think they went down to £60, and it's the leather black version with the high top. So she got those. My son, what has he asked for? He's asked for a weightlifting set, and for things like that the whole family can use. We're just getting that for him as a collective thing for the family. When I say the whole family can use, obviously the little children can't use it, but I mean my husband can use it, you know, the older girls can use it eventually. So something like that, we would buy that for the family. So what has he asked for? Oh, he does love computer games, video games, but we don't have a console. They're very much into PC games, because I suppose because my husband's a software engineer, so we've always had computers around the house. And with the PC, you know, there's much more controllability. There's graphics cards, all this sort of thing. And so they prefer playing games on the PC. So he's requested a game called Alien Isolation or something. And I think it was like £28 for the game. And yeah, so that's what he's gone for. The younger children, even Sienna is 11. And I'm almost forcing her to choose something for Christmas, and she's like, oh mom, I don't know, I don't really know what I want to get. And I think it's kind of nice in a way, in the sense that she's not wanting for anything as such, but then I do also want to give them a little Christmas present each, because it is Christmas. It's the season for giving and being generous and being kind, and just seeing the faces of your children light up when they open presents. So I am asking her to get, you know, to tell me what she wants so I can get it for her. But at the same regard, it's quite nice as well that she's not coming up with all these different ideas of what she wants to get that we either can't afford or is not appropriate, what have you. And then the younger children, so Anya's getting Lego sets. and the younger children, the 2 boys, Zachary and Gabriel, Xander, are getting Playmobil. And baby Ava is getting a little dolly that cries. And it was very hard to find one that wasn't a baby Annabelle. I mean, like a good one that wasn't a baby Annabelle. So we've had 2 baby Annabelles in the past. And I think for the price, they are very cute. My only qualm with baby Annabelle, for those of you that have them, so it's a hard head, hard arms and hard legs, and then it's a soft body. But I find where the plastic arm joins the body, there's like a fabric piece, and it kind of just flops, so the arm kind of just goes either way. And I just think, how much are baby Annabelles? I think they're like £60 more, £60 plus. And I just think for that they should have at least, I don't know, maybe started the arm from the actual shoulder socket rather than below, so then you don't have this funky arm that's just flopping either way. I mean, the children did love it, so that's, you know, that's another point, a good point, I suppose. But yeah, so that's what they're getting. So for birthday presents, we normally give them a bit more because it's only one person that we have to spend on, rather than Christmas we have to spend on everyone. We also have I have 1 nephew and 1 niece from my side of the family, so they're getting a present each. And we usually just ask the parents what do they want, and it's quite nice actually, because they do, not that we haven't given them a budget, but I think they just realize, you know, what an appropriate budget is, and they've just given us links to Amazon for what the children would like, and it's very reasonably within our budget, so that's great. I have a sister-in-law that has 9 children, so more than me, would you believe? And so for their family, they're very happy not to get presents. So we don't do presents for each other. So when we see each other, we'll be seeing each other, not for Christmas, unfortunately, because we're in London, but we'll be seeing each other for New Year's. And what we normally do is we just bring food, because there's so many of us. We don't want to burden each other with sort of saying, oh, we can't invite them because there's so much food to cater, blah, blah, blah. So everybody always brings like food, which is just great. Food and desserts and what have you, and treats. And then everybody just joins in and, you know, has a good time. Everybody's fed, and there's not too much stress on the host. So that's quite good in that regard. So that's presents. And yeah, I mean, my husband's asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and to be honest, I could say fabric, but I really have lots of fabric, and I'm kind of like not really wanting anything, so I'm really not that fussed. I mean, for me, I read another thing on Facebook saying, you know, I thought that, you know, when I was young, being a child at Christmas, I thought that was, you know, that's as good as it gets. That's the best feeling ever, being a child at Christmas. And then the quote says, but I was wrong. Having a child at Christmas, or having children, I don't know, you know, I'm sure you get what I mean, but she's saying now, having a child, you know, being able to give to your children during Christmas, that's the best feeling ever, you know, just seeing the little faces light up and, you know, being happy over their gift. And then they're occupied for like a good half the day at least, minimum, occupied with their new toys and things. So it's quite nice that way. But yeah, I will hopefully see you again tomorrow. I will have the Bakerloo dress hopefully finished by then. I might have even cut out the Tabitha t-shirt dress. And once I've done this Bakerloo dress, that's actually my December month makes all done. So the extra Tabitha t-shirt dress is an extra thing. So yeah, I'm kind of getting there. I think I will start, I mean, we're heading off to London on the 23rd or 4th. So there's a lot of packing for that to do, a lot of logistical things happening. So we're staying at my mother-in-law's house. We're taking 2 of their big rooms, so 1 room for the boys, 1 room for the girls, and they do have a 10-bedroom house, but there are lots of brothers and sisters coming to stay, so it is kind of like a logistical not nightmare, but you just have to arrange these things. Likewise for the new year, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 families coming to stay with us, all real family as it were, so they're coming to stay with us, and it's just a logistical process of trying to organize who gets what room for what days, and how food is all going to work out and things. So we're going to be giving them, we've got an annex as well on the property. It's a 3-bedroom annex, and my in-laws live there, so they live in it's like a little mini house. So they've got a bedroom downstairs, and then there's 2 bedrooms upstairs that they have for guests. So we can squeeze 2 families in there, and then the rest of the families will have to sleep in the main house, which is fine. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. In the meantime, sorry, I must have just mumbled on a bit. Was not prepared for what I just said. I just kind of let it all out. I will see you again tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.